Siomra Beag.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tiny Room. Welcome back to On Siomra Beag. I'm the Michael of the aforementioned, although not this time, Michael and Benjamin's podcast. And I am joined by the man who, when I made a deal with Satan for a podcast host, this is what I got. It's Benjamin.
It was a bloody raw deal. You got screwed.
Oh, Benjamin, they twisted my words on me. Yeah. I said, oh, Satan, I wish for the podcast co-host. And then I got you and I said, this isn't what I asked for. And they said, you didn't wish for a good co-host.
Hoist by your own wishing petard.
Yeah, I should have been more careful with my language.
I'll tell you what I made a wish for, Michael.
What did you make a wish for?
Bloody theme music.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music.
Very good, yes. Essentially, we did, Ben, because that was the...
no,
if you remember, we kind of said, I hope someone makes the theme music for us, and then someone did.
Yeah, it was real nice of that guy.
Yeah, it was, that was actually a wish that came true, Ben. And you weren't caught out with some sort of twisted legalese.
No, luckily there was no snare waiting at the end of that deal.
No. Benjamin, you know who else must have made some sort of Faustian pact?
Go on, tell me more.
Netflix.
Oh, because Michael.
Yes.
Because Michael.
Yes.
No matter what they put out, they're successful.
It's unbelievable.
It boggles the mind, Michael. Tell us a little bit more about that.
My mind is boggled, Ben. Apparently, Benjamin, The Old Guard, the world's most generic film starring Charlize Theron as Aeon Flux, is the most watched thing in Netflix history?
Yeah.
Thing or movie?
Movie. Most watched movie.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think it could tackle series just yet.
But I don't know. Like Netflix are notoriously play their cards close to their chest when it comes to bloody ratings, but they'll announce a win.
I mean, Michael, it's pretty interesting because previous to that we had Extraction. Extraction had topped their list for a lot of viewing figures.
Yeah, maybe it's just the pandemic, Ben.
There has to be some kind of pandemic thing there. Charlize Theron is a big draw, though. She's, Charlize has got a lot of clout, a lot of star clout.
She's pretty much establishing herself as the world's leading action lady, isn't she?
I'm okay with that.
Not Charlize Theron. Scarlett Johansson must be kicking herself.
I know, she really dropped the ball there somewhere.
Yeah.
I tell you probably why Charlize Theron is a little bit more popular, Michael. She doesn't try and play Asian characters.
Oh.
She doesn't find a black character and go, I could do that.
I could do that, I bet you.
I could do that, no bother. Well, what's the problem? The problem? Why couldn't I do that?
I don't think that has had any influence on Scarlett Johansson's popularity, Benjamin, whatsoever.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Highly doubt that. Anyway, Benjamin. Anyway, The Old Guard was so generic it may as well have had Will Smith in it.
May as well having him play a clone of himself.
Yeah, they may as well have stuck him in and had him be a retired hitman in it because it was so generic.
Yeah. But
doesn't stop people from watching it though, Ben. And people seem to like it.
If Netflix wants a good idea, bloody get Charlize Theron and bloody Chris Hemsworth in the movie together. Fucking bloody see how many figures that gets you.
Extraction versus Old Guard. I'd watch that.
I would watch the shit out of that.
In the Netflix cinematic universe.
It turns out that's how Chris Hemsworth survived.
He was immortal and he didn't know. That was his first death.
That was his first death.
That's incredible. That's an incredible idea. Get him in there.
Netflix, get in touch with us. We'll write it for you. Not free of charge. There will be a fee, but we'll do it.
And while you're at it, stick in the Amell cousins. They could do a co-date up in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Amazing. I mean, that last thing I said was somewhat sarcastic, but the first idea was brilliant.
Michael, I forgot about another Netflix thing that we didn't put down in our running order, and I'm going to spring it on you now.
Why don't you spring it on me?
Did you see Project Power?
I have no idea what that is.
The trailer that I gave to all of us in the little group today, starring Jamie Foxx and one Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What group?
In the bloody Siomra Beag WhatsApp group, Michael.
There's a Siomra Beag WhatsApp group. Benjamin, you very much didn't. Now
It was either that or Wednesday Night Cinema Club.
Oh, it was. It wasn't today though. It was 3 days ago at 4 o'clock.
3 days ago, Michael, at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I have to say, Ben, I didn't even look at that.
Well, bloody hell, Michael. Yeah. Would you like to do a live trailer reaction? No, I'm only joking. That's terrible podcasting. But, Michael, it's set to be basically They've looked at Code 8 and gone, oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But what if we got some A-listers in?
Yeah, not the
And
Mel
did
Cousins.
it again.
Oh, really?
And
As there-
basically,
Is there robots dropping out of airships?
not quite, Michael, but what we have, Michael, is a new drug on the market.
Oh,
And
what's
it gives you superpowers for 5 minutes.
Oh,
So you pop yourself a pillaroonie and you get superpowers for 5 minutes.
that was the plot of a comic, I think.
It more than likely is based on a comic in some form. But
Mm.
Michael, it stars
Yes.
one Jamie Foxx,
Yes, I've
and
heard of
one-
him. I'm familiar with his work.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, I'm familiar with both of them.
Jamie Foxx is doing his best Liam Neeson impression and
Oh,
being all
very
like,
good.
"Where's my daughter?
Give her back.
Where's my doggone daughter?"
I'll find you and I'll
And
get
Joseph
you.
Gordon-Levitt is doing, "Not in my damn city. I'm
is
a
he
good cop, damn you."
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is old enough to play cops now.
Apparently so. His boyish good looks have not detracted him. Although he did once play a Dick Grayson or Robin, Michael.
Robin. His
Recall.
real name was Robin, Ben. In case you
His
were
real
confused.
name was bloody Christopher Nolan with his bloody right on the nose symbolism.
Wasn't his name John Blake?
Yeah, I think they just gave him a shite name.
Yeah.
Just to throw everybody off.
Why don't you
it
use
wasn't
your-
really...
Yeah. Why don't you use your real name, Robin? Dun dun dun. Oh, I'm glad that series ended.
Ugh.
Speaking, Ben, of series ending,
Go on.
remember how happy I was when the very long-running comic book The Walking Dead finished?
I don't recall your joy, but I'm sure it was there.
It might have been joy, but I mean, I was somewhat worried about how he was going to keep it going, because what was going to happen? Rick and the gang were going to move to another community and cause some sort of dystopia. You know,
they're cannibals again.
no. What's it this time? Humans were the real villains all along. What's the next humans who are the real villains?
There's only so much faith they can lose in humanity.
Yeah, Rick and the team cross the Bering Strait to Russia and meet Russian zombies. Actually, that sounds like a great idea. Maybe that is how they should have gone with it. Walking Dead International. Anyway, Benjamin, it ended, I think, last year. And
Yes.
It wrapped up into a nice little bow. But, Benjamin, it's bloody back.
Why?
Because, and this is hilarious, and I think a very interesting experiment, it's relaunching from issue 1 in colour.
Ew.
You snob. Yeah, you old comic snob.
But it doesn't make any sense, Michael. It's such a cheap stab at making money.
Well, I don't think it wouldn't have been that cheap, I don't think. Colouring it will probably cost a lot of money, and republishing the damn thing.
Yeah, but I mean, why, Michael? Are they that strapped for cash? Do they need to reload their whole idea?
I think you've misunderstood the purpose and nature of business, Ben.
Oh, I have, yeah. You're
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to make money, is
Yeah,
it?
it's about making money.
Ah.
It's not like Showroom Björk Productions, which actively costs us money.
Yeah,
It's,
actively.
actively costs us money.
consistently.
Every now and then I check my account and go, oh, that's where that money went.
Where did that
God.
30 euro... Oh, yeah.
Goddamn
do a
Showroom
podcast.
Björk. But yeah, it's the funny thing about it is, Ben, it looks so much like a comic now. Because we've gotten so used to, I think, the idea of colour comics. Back in the olden 80s and the 70s and the 80s, Ben, you know, only about half of comics were probably in colour. I don't have any statistics on that, but, you know,
It's not like you.
a black and white comic wasn't an unusual thing in the olden days. But then by the time The Walking Dead was in the height of its popularity, it was quite unusual to have such a high sales mainstream black and white comic.
There you go.
Yeah. But now it's
Now
back
they've
and it's
taken
not black
this-
and white anymore, and it looks just like a comic. There's some very interesting pages from the first couple of colorized panels. And it's like, yeah, that looks really generic now. they might have ruined that.
Yeah, they may have shot themselves in the foot on this one. Do you think people are going to re-buy these issues?
No,
In
but
colour?
I think no. I don't think Walking Dead fans are going to rebuy it in color. But I think that a lot of the TV show fans were probably put off by picking up a black and white comic. I think to the average man on the street, Ben, a black and white comic is something which looks unfinished.
Yes, I think that's probably true, Michael.
And I think that's what they're going for here.
What's very interesting to me, Michael, is that the timing could not be worse.
Go on.
As in, the TV show has lost all of its popularity. Perhaps the time to relaunch your comic in full colour to encourage fans of a TV show to buy it would have been when it was at the height of its popularity, not quite a time after the sun has set
perhaps
on that
then,
property.
perhaps. But maybe what they're hoping for is a new generation of people to get into the comic again.
New wave, baby.
A new wave of comic fans. Now that the TV show has spent its load, that they can refocus on the comic and then do a new TV show adaptation of it in 15 years.
Is that like us waiting for a new wave of Michael and Benjamin's podcast fans?
Yeah,
to take us
wherever
out
they
of this
are,
debt.
where are they coming? Take us out of this debt. We're in debt, everybody. Please subscribe to our Patreon. What are we talking about? Benjamin, have you, speaking of TV adaptations of things, and Image Comics, and Robert Kirkman, bloody hell, that doesn't even need a segue.
No, it's buttery smooth. Michael, I just found out this very morning when I was looking for things to talk about on this podcast.
Yes.
That Invincible is being made into an animated television show.
Now, Ben, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. Have I mentioned that Invincible is one of my favourite comics?
No, I don't think it's ever come up, Michael.
I don't think we've ever mentioned it, but I have to say I am a big fan of the comic book Invincible.
Yes, so, Michael.
Yep.
Bloody Robert Kirkman, the
I've
man
heard
you
of
were
him.
just speaking about in another form.
Yeah.
He's been giving us a little hint as to who the cast will be. We have confirmed cast members for this. Michael, and you said, is this worth talking about? Is there anyone of note in the cast?
Yeah, go on.
There bloody is, Michael.
Yeah, go on.
We have, first of all, Robot is, I suppose, one of the more central characters of the Invincible franchise, and he's to be voiced by one Zachary Quinto.
Zachary Quinto, him from being Spock.
Him from being Spock.
And him
precisely.
from being Sylar in Heroes.
Indeed.
That's a good casting, I feel. That's a good casting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's going to be interesting. Zazie Beetz has also been cast as a voice. We're not sure who she's going to be yet.
Who is Zazie Beetz going to be?
I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of Zazie Beetz, as you know. Zazie Beetz.
Huh.
Moving on from there, Michael, we have Mark
Is she
Hamill.
going to be Adam Eve?
It's very possible, Michael. Very possible.
I wonder
Mark
if Zazie...
Hamill.
Hold on, I wonder if Zazie Beetz is playing Adam Eve. Will they change her ethnicity in the show?
I mean, it's quite commonplace now, Michael, isn't it? Quite normal
interesting.
to take a character and flip the ethnicity.
Yeah, especially for gingers.
Oh yeah, they like to do that with gingers. They do.
Gingers they're replacing gingers with people of colour now.
It's interesting, isn't it?
What's going to happen to me, Ben?
Irish people better watch out. I'm going to get a very attractive, talented woman of colour to be my co-host on the podcast.
No, but her name will still be Mick.
She'll be Michaela.
Oh, yeah.
Michaela.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Michaela. So it'll be Michaela and Benjamin's podcast.
Oh, yeah, that still makes sense.
I think it'll do wonders for the ratings.
Minimal rebranding. Probably
Minimal.
probably higher costs, though. Let's see what that bank account does.
2 minutes on the old thumbnail. Quick retype.
Yeah, you'd be grand.
Job done.
What the heck are we talking about?
So
Zazie Beetz,
Mark
yeah.
Hamill. Mark Hamill has also been confirmed.
Who's
Seth
Mark Hamill
Rogen
going to be?
So Zazie Beetz is voicing. Sorry, Amber Bennett. She's not voicing. I have it here. Sorry, it's written down. Zazie Beetz is not going to be Adam Eve, which is a shame. She's going to be Amber Bennett, which is Mark's initial kind of love interest.
Oh,
You'll recall.
I don't actually. Funnily enough.
Mark Hamill is going to be Art, the man who makes all the costumes for the gang.
Well, that's interesting.
And Seth Rogen is going to be Alan the Alien.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting,
Isn't it?
So they're obviously going for like a season 1 vibe here. They're starting. They're not jumping straight into the big expanded universe because I don't remember a lot of those characters.
Yes, they're going for the classics, I suppose, Michael. Who will be voicing Adam Eve is none other than Gillian Jacobs off The Community.
Oh yeah, she's not ginger. Get her out of there.
Not at all. Not at all.
Get her out of there. She's such a Brita.
Yeah, she's such a Brita.
Yeah.
And she's going to Brita the whole thing.
She's going to Brita the whole thing up.
So there are other various people, Michael.
That's a heck of a voice cast, isn't it?
It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Where is this to be broadcast?
I'm not sure. They haven't confirmed yet.
I'll have to watch it, Ben, I suppose.
I suppose we will, Michael. It's only your bloody favourite comic.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I don't know if we've ever brought it up on the podcast, but it is a comic that I quite enjoy.
Yeah, it's come up once or twice.
Invincible, by Image Comics. It's pretty good.
It's come up once or twice.
Yeah,
once or twice.
Yeah, yeah.
Michael, what else were we talking about in the bloody run through before this bloody
well,
podcast?
you were talking about, Ben, speaking of comics and adaptations, you were saying that you were having an listen to something.
So, Michael, about 3 weeks ago, you and I found out that Sandman was going to be adapted into an audio play.
Yes, we did.
And sure enough, it's been released, Michael. It was released last week. And I have downloaded it with my one Audible credit for the month.
Oh, very good.
Now, Michael, upon downloading, I realised it's bloody 10 hours long.
That's very long, Ben.
It's quite the commitment, Michael. Quite the commitment.
And as we know, commitment is something you struggle with.
And I'm going to be honest, Michael, it
Yes.
looks like my patterns are repeating themselves because while this is very ambitious,
Yes.
I'm just not sure it suits radio play. Neil Gaiman is the narrator,
Yeah.
and he keeps interrupting the voice acting to give you a description of what's happening.
I was just about to ask, how does he describe what's going on or the weird twisted dreamscapes?
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's Neil Gaiman describing his own imagery. It's
And he's just
weird.
I'm just going to pop in now for a moment and point out that while this is all happening, they're standing on the back of the Raven, but the Raven has the face of the actor Mark Hamill.
I'm not kidding you when I say... So what they're doing is, it's first of all using Preludes and Nocturnes as its initial introduction. So
Yeah.
it is quite faithful to the original Morpheus narrative of Sandman comics. But, for example, when Morpheus is summoned at the beginning of the comic,
Yeah.
and if you haven't read the comic, shame on you, it's been out for years.
It's been out since before Ben was born.
Since before I was born. And he describes Morpheus as, he's a tall man with large black eyes. He stands there passively staring at his captors. And you're just sitting there going, no.
No, stop it, Neil Gaiman.
Don't
Stop
work. Don't work, Neil.
Stop
It's
it,
very jarring because you have the characters talking to each other as if it's a serial
Yeah.
play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just strange because Neil Gaiman occasionally pops in. He's not very well suited to narrating the kind of horror elements of this story. He's far too pleasant.
Yeah.
And
Now
he's
I'm just
not
going to
great at
interrupt you
building
there,
up atmosphere.
Lucifer, and point out that while Lucifer is talking about this, in the background, the whole hellscape is on fire. And there are people suffering. There's a man, his eyeballs are out of his head. It's really quite horrific.
Now, Michael, I haven't had a chance to get into the meat and potatoes of the big characters and their voice actors. I heard a little bit of Morpheus.
Mm-hmm.
It's very slow, Michael. That's the other sin you might level against it. Not sure 10 hours was entirely appropriate as the length of time it could take.
Well, Ben, remember in previous conversations we've had, both on air and off air, where sometimes I'll ask you a question about a comic book, and rather than simply answering my question, you'll go in and you'll explain the comic book from start to finish. And you'll say, so on panel 1, we see two people standing inside a house, and then it's just like paying Neil Gaiman to do that.
Yeah, except he gets paid.
Oh, yeah. No, you just do it for free, just for the fun of tormenting me.
I do it for free and unprompted.
Yeah, it's great. Benjamin.
If you'd like... Well, just before that, if you'd like to hear me do that free and unprompted, you can check out our second podcast, Collecting Issues, which comes out this very Wednesday.
That's not what Collected Issues is about. That's what I have to stop you doing on Collected Issues every single week. Oh, it's all falling apart between the budget and the collecting issues. Benjamin, look, I remember a few weeks ago you were very excited about this Sandman play. In fact,
I was.
Yeah, you were like, oh my God, that's something I've wished for my whole life. And Ben, it turns out that even though you'd wished for it your whole life, it wasn't exactly what you got what you wanted. See what I did there, but made a balls of it?
I couldn't ask for a better co-host, Michael. Those buttery smooth segues.
Oh, Christ. I mean, there was a point to where I was going. Like, there is the core, there's the kernel of a good joke in there, but it's gone. I've ruined it.
So, Michael and I found ourselves wishing for a podcast topic yesterday.
Yeah,
and,
very good.
Yeah, I came up with one. And basically, the reason that this came up, Michael, and this is bizarre.
Yes.
As you know, Michael, we're in and out quarantine.
I've seen it, yeah.
And I've been looking up a few health and fitness tips, trying to keep a routine going, Michael.
Do some push-ups.
And that's led me down the odd kind of holistic route on occasion, because you do an L yoga thing to get rid of the pain in your back from sitting in front of a monitor all day, etc. And I've started getting ads for a bizarre subscription service called Gaia. And Gaia is bananas. Gaia is
that
like
the one
ancient alien societies.
Oh, wow.
And, that's great for podcasting. Just give me 2 seconds while I deal with my dog.
No,
You
it's
spin
fine.
your wheels.
No, it's fine. Leave it. You're spinning your wheels. I've got nothing to say about the scam organization Gaia. It's fine. I can't hear anything.
Anyway, Gaia has a bunch of ads of a guy who claims to be the reincarnated soul of an ancient Atlantean.
Oh,
And
right.
He's explaining, he has a whole documentary series where he explains how the universe works based on Atlantean science.
Oh, good. Like
And-
the show Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah, a little bit, but if he believed it was real every step of the way. And one of the things that he keeps talking about his little advertisements, Michael, is manifestation and wishing upon things and making it come to reality. And ooh-wee, is it a crock? But it got me thinking, Michael.
Yes.
I was watching an old video as you asked me for a topic, and I said, let's bloody do wishes.
Yeah, we'll do wishes then.
Let's bloody do wishes.
Yeah.
So, shall I begin or shall you begin, Michael?
Funnily enough, Ben, I was... look, the whole point of this, Ben, is the old... Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. As well as being a hit song by the Pussycat Dolls.
Yes.
Is also a very, very long-standing trope or trope in all sorts of culture, not just popular culture, Ben, also in the arts and the myths and the legends. Why don't you tell us very briefly, Ben, who Dr. Faustus is anyway?
So that comes from and I'm going to say this incorrectly, Michael, because I always do, Gotha.
Well,
it's Gotha.
yeah, go on anyway.
Do you not want me to go into that level of depth?
Well, no, I think it's... I was looking it up myself, Ben, because I thought,
Yes.
look, I better look this up because Ben will probably just lie to me. Apparently,
Yes.
it's a legend. It doesn't have a definitive... One person was the first to invent this character. It's a German legend.
Let's do an old German legend breakdown. Look, there's a lad. He's big into his alchemy. He's big into his philosophy. He's big into his book learning.
Yeah.
But he's hit a wall.
Yeah.
He's hit a wall. He's like, oh, it's all theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if only I could actually summon up the spirits of the dead and the great characters and have a chat with them. If only I could achieve great power. And so what he does is he goes, I know a lad who can do that for me. It's the bloody devil.
Where would you even find him, Ben?
The devil could give me... He doesn't know summoning, Michael.
Yeah. Where would you do a summoning?
And then he makes an old pact with the devil.
Yeah, where is that, Ben?
Oh, it's in a pentagram.
So just for the ladies and gentlemen, I was making a cross symbol with my hands to indicate the crossroads, which Ben knows.
Oh,
but
yeah. Okay.
He thought I was doing a pentagram.
I don't know what you were trying to do. You might make a deal with the devil at the crossroads. It really depends on what version you read. In certain versions, he summons him into his home. Yeah. You get to have a look at him there. And then, Michael, he makes what is quite frankly known as a Faustian pact, where he trades his soul in return for a couple of wisharoonies. Mm-hmm. But the devil, being the devil...
Yeah, he's an elf fecker, isn't he?
He's an elf fecker. He done twist every single one around. He just be messing around with them and being like, nah, I almost gave you what you wanted, but there's a sting in the tail.
Gotcha.
And that originated the idea of the Faustian Pact and how it's a kind of damning deal with the devil for something that you want. We use it in lots of different places, Michael. I'm sure the listeners have heard it before. There's no need to give an example.
Benjamin. Yes. I've been having a look at them, and you can break these kind of stories, these Faustian Pact or these kind of wish fulfillment stories. You can break them down, I think, into kind of two categories.
Go on.
There's one category where the devil or the genie or the wish granter is a bit of a tricky wicket, a bit of an El Messer, a bit of an El Gambin, and if you say like I wish I could fly. He goes, granted, and then you jump off a building and then you die, and then he's holding an airplane ticket and he says, you probably should have just waited.
I'd watch that. That was good. I like that.
You know what I mean? There's that kind of one, the one where they misinterpret you or they do a little trickery. You know, there's that kind.
Yeah. Yes.
And then there's the second kind, which initially seems like the same kind of idea, but there's the second kind where they just do give you exactly what you asked for. Yeah. And you go, oh, this was a bad idea.
My hubris.
You know,
by my own petard.
Exactly. So you can be hoist by the kind of connivery of the wish granter, or you can be hoist by your own petard. Which way would you like to be hoist? Is the question.
I'll do an all that glitters isn't gold.
Right, go on.
I'll take that one,
go
Michael,
on.
for $5 million.
Right, go on then.
So we can take a look at that in a number of different forms. The one that sticks with me quite a lot, Michael, is bloody Supernatural. I know we talk about the show a lot, but
have we ever talked about the show Supernatural or the comic book Invincible? Have I ever mentioned Invincible before, Ben, on the podcast?
Ever mentioned Invincible?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's pretty good. We'll talk about it Sunday. Go on.
Yeah,
go
I hear there's a new animated series in the works.
Oh, that'd be exciting. Who's in it?
Yeah, it's got a whole voice cast.
Yeah. Zazie Beetz. Benjamin.
Anyway.
Sorry, hold on. Complete interruption here. We're going way off track. But I forgot to tell you this earlier. This week's episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a time loop episode.
Oh, it's gone full circle now.
It's gone full circle. We'll have to go and watch that, Ben, because as you know, one of our most popular episodes of the podcast ever was our time loop episode.
Yeah, we do time loops a lot. There's a new one out as well with Andy Samberg called Palm Springs.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Okay, we can do time loop episodes.
Time loop 2. Let's do the time loop again.
Yes, let's bloody do it. Okay. Now, that's what the first episode was called, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I mean, we can do it again because it's on point. It's very
very
meta.
good. Yeah, very good. What were we saying anyway? Supernatural.
Yeah. So, Michael, many fans of it will know that, and you've mentioned it before in the podcast, once upon a time, Michael, demons in the Supernatural were big baddies that couldn't be beat, and you kind of just had to avoid them and stay away from them because they were a big bloody bunch of bastards.
Yeah.
And then the lads decided to do something about it, and then all of a sudden, demons were a dime a dozen, and you could deal with them however you chose.
Cannon fodder.
In fact, initially in the Supernatural Universe, they were quite hard to find. You couldn't track a demon down. You had to make an L deal with them at a crossroads, Michael, or a little 2 fingers over each other symbol, as you put it in the camera to me a little earlier. And that whole thing drives, I think it's season 3 of Supernatural. They're trying to track down demons, and they come across someone known as the King of Demons, and that's Crowley. He's the deal maker, the King of Demons, da-da-da-da-da-da. And we meet several people who sold their soul to the devil.
Yeah.
And we get the whole Robert Jansen, who is the German cousin of Robert Johnson.
Who's Robert Johnson?
Robert Johnson is a famous blues musician. The legend around him is he died very young. He died at 27.
Okay.
And the legend around him is that he sold his soul at the crossroads. He was, by all accounts of the blues community, a terrible musician. He disappeared for a year and came back being one of the greatest blues musicians of all time.
Sounds like he just practiced to me.
Probably just practiced for a year, but he claimed to have sold his soul to the devil at Crossroads. And he was given a deal. But that whole narrative is referenced. It's very much Americana. It's kind of built into American folklore a lot, the Crossroads deals, that kind of thing. And we meet different people, and there's an artist who sold his soul to be very good at art, and he says, yeah, but I'm broke. I should have wished to be famous.
Hoist by his own petard, Ben. One of my favourite things about that season of Supernatural is they really don't chicken out on that he does come for your soul.
You go to hell.
Isn't that the season that introduces, what's her face? What was her name? She played it British.
Ruby?
No, not Ruby. The other one. Bella? Is that her name?
I don't know.
She's like a British treasure hunter lady.
Oh, I have no idea.
And she has sold her soul to the demons to get power or money and power and stuff. And then, Dean sells his soul as well.
Oh, yeah, they're just hawking their souls off left and
everyone's
right.
selling their souls, and then the hellhounds come and they actually get her and they just rip her to bits. And she's been a kind of minor supporting character and kind of antagonistic love interest.
Yeah, no, she doesn't survive.
No, she doesn't at all. She
doesn't go well for her.
Horribly eaten alive by hellhounds. And the hellhound in the Supernatural universe, when you sell your soul to the devils, they physically come and get it. It's not like they wait
have
for
to
you
collect.
to die. Yeah. Very unpleasant.
It's real interesting because in that, this is before Supernatural jumped the shark or jumped the hellhound, if you will.
Oh, very good.
At a certain point in the Supernatural universe,
she was played by Lauren Cohen, Ben.
Lauren Cohen. There you go. I have no idea who it is, but I'll have a look now.
I'll look it up.
One of my favorite things about those seasons is when you were dead in the Supernatural universe, ooh-wee, was that it for you? Like, you were gone.
Unless you're Sam and Dean.
Unless you're Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was where that was kind of interesting. And then as time went by, demons lost their teeth. Deal doing seemed to be a thing of the past. They didn't seem to really get into that anymore. It just wasn't their thing, and it just kind of all lost its teeth. But that was one of the best examples of glitters and gold, and all that glitters isn't gold, and that kind of shenanigans.
Her name was Bella Talbot, so I was right. It was Bella.
Look at you.
I'm good with names.
Oh, I know Lauren Cohen.
Of course you know Lauren Cohen. She was out.
She was in the bloody Walking Dead.
She was out of the Walking Dead. Yeah. You know her from a lot of things. She's a successful actress.
She's a successful actress.
Yeah, she's very successful.
Yeah. Michael, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer a Hoist by the Petard or a Glitters Ain't Gold?
Well, Benjamin, I watched one this week. Purely coincidentally, Ben. I've been watching this week a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
God bless you.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, Ben, but I really enjoy Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the comic book Invincible.
Yeah, we should probably do an episode on it.
We should do an episode on it. But anyway, I've been watching a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've been watching... It's on Amazon Prime, Ben. Amazon Prime Video, which I have illegally. And it's the HD remastered version. And first of all, before we get into anything else, let me tell you, Ben, I'm going to tell you this for nothing. It's the worst HD remastering you have ever seen in your entire life. It's awful. It's absolutely dreadful.
What makes it so awful, Michael?
It looks like, Ben, and I've been on some Buffy remaster fan sites. We've gone way off topic here, but they remastered it using the original footage, Ben, and they didn't apply any of the color filters. So
why?
I don't know. Time, money, laziness, lack of knowledge. Maybe the original information was lost. I don't know, but they didn't anyway. And scenes which are at night are in broad daylight.
Oh no.
Yeah, and like tombs and crypts and things are lit with full brightness studio lights. There's no atmosphere. It's all gone.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it's terrible. And then there are awful crops in the shots to make the original footage fit into widescreen.
Oh no.
It's dreadful. And then some of the shots are so low resolution. And then the very next shot, like you might get a very low resolution shot of Giles, and then a very high definition shot of Buffy speaking to Giles, and then it cut back to Giles and he's in low def, and it cut back to Buffy and she's in high def.
Jesus.
Also, a lot of those shows weren't really designed to be broadcast in high definition. So are you familiar with the character Faith, Ben?
Yes.
Did you know that when she's fighting in close-up, she looks a lot like the actress Eliza Dushku.
Yes.
But when she's fighting and the camera's a bit further away, she looks a lot like an Asian American stunt woman.
Well, that's weird, isn't it?
Because, Ben, they were never intended to be viewed in such high definition. So they didn't go to the efforts of hiding the stunt people that they do these days.
Oh, God.
It makes you really appreciate the actress Katie Lotz. Do you know the actress Katie Lotz, Ben? She plays Sarah Lance, White Canary, Black Canary.
Yeah.
She does all her own kicking and flipping.
Good for her.
Yeah. Anyway, where am I going? I'm going on a rant. I happened to coincidentally then watch the episode The Wish.
Okay, that was handy.
It was very handy, Ben. You text me, and then the next episode of Buffy started, and it went The Wish, and I said, "This is a sign. This is a sign from either Jesus or Satan, or perhaps even Ben, that this is the topic for this week." I think it was you.
It was me.
It was you. So, Benjamin, in The Wish, Cordelia, who is a great character, by the way. We should do a whole episode on Buffy someday. But Cordelia accidentally gets tricked by a vengeance demon.
Not a vengeance demon.
A vengeance demon, Ben. The vengeance demon Anyanka, who goes on later to become one of the most popular and enduring characters in the entire show. Have you seen Buffy?
I have, yeah.
The whole thing, start to finish.
No.
Sit yourself down and watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so important in the history of television.
Don't think so.
It is incredible. It's an incredible show. Watch it.
Highly doubtful.
Yeah, well, watch it from start to finish. It's brilliant. Anyway, what was I saying? Vengeance demon. She tricks Cordelia, essentially. She doesn't trick her, but Cordelia doesn't know she's a demon, Ben. One of the classic, why don't you say I wish, and you don't know that the wish is going to come true.
That's like when you made a deal to get me as a co-host.
Exactly. So, she wishes that Buffy had never come to Sunnydale.
Oh no.
And then, she gets that wish.
Okay.
And it essentially creates an alternate horrible dimension where everyone is dead or vampires.
Interesting. So it's like It's a Wonderful Life in reverse.
Yeah, it's gross and horrible. And like Cordelia comes to realize that although she blames Buffy for a lot of things that have gone wrong in her life, it would be much worse if she hadn't come.
We bloody need that girl who ruined my life.
Yeah, because it turns out she didn't ruin my life. She made my life a little bit miserable sometimes, but also much better than it would have been if she wasn't here.
She also made it alive.
one of the bizarre twists on this, and the spoiler for a 23-year-old show, is the character who makes the wish gets killed in the episode.
What?
Yeah, she gets killed in the horrible dimension where Buffy had never come to Sunnydale.
So how did they reverse the wish, Michael? How did they reverse the wish?
Well, the other characters, she manages, like, with her dying words to explain that she's made this wish, and then the other characters have to figure it out and try and undo it.
So what? You see, I've never understood that. You have a giant reality warping demon.
Yeah.
But it's okay as long as we get a message across. We can turn it around pretty quickly. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So how many other wishes did they undo when they killed... Well, they don't kill the demon, they just smash her special power bracelet.
Oh, of course, the magic bracelet. The magic wish bracelet.
But the best thing about it is, then, after everything is undone and Cordelia it goes back to the conversation she was having with Anya and says, I wish Buffy Summers had never come to Sunnydale, and the power doesn't work, she says, No. I wish that she had boils all over her face. No. I wish that all men... And, it was clearly just venting.
Yeah. It wasn't a real intentional wish at any point.
Go on.
Well, Michael, a nice little session of venting with no malice or long-term ill effects is great, but I prefer it when it's a big bloody spooky horror-filled nightmare situation. I quite enjoy that, Michael. That's popped up a few times. Michael, there's a bloody strange series of horror out there. You're a big fan of horror, Michael. You're
I like
a big
horror.
fan of a strange and spooky eldritch-style existence.
Mm-hmm.
And, Michael, I did a little deep dive into bloody Hellraiser.
Oh, you want to be careful there, Ben.
Oh, I wish I hadn't, Michael. Oh.
There, get your skin. They'll get your skin right off you.
What a dirty, grim little universe that is. So Clive Barker came up with this concept in his old books.
Yeah, he's a bit of a creep, isn't he?
He's a bit of a creep, that Clive Barker. I wouldn't like to meet him in a bloody dark pub on a bloody Tuesday evening.
No, he'd probably peel off your skin and give you a wank.
Yeah, he's got some issues. He's like a really demented Stephen King. Look, anyway, in his universe, there's the Hellraiser, or Pinhead, as he's known in that particular iterance, and he's the Lord of Pain.
Yes, he is.
And the wish-making device in this particular universe is the puzzle box, Michael.
Yeah, you don't solve it.
Don't solve the puzzle box.
Not worth it.
Don't do it. So it really depends on which movie you watch. I'm going to go from the movie universe because I haven't read any of the books, Michael.
No, because you wanted to retain a shred of your sanity.
There are currently 9 movies.
Mm.
And the central plot of the first 2, at the very least, is the puzzle box. So the puzzle box kind of appears to those seeking knowledge.
Mm.
And it promises to grant their wish of seeking new knowledge and things like that, or it exists for people who constantly pursue pleasure.
Yeah,
the puzzle box, hedonists, and it promises great pleasure. But Michael, don't solve the bloody puzzle box.
No,
because what happens then is you open an L portal into another dimension.
Yeah,
and that's where you meet the Cenobites.
Yeah, and you think everything's gonna have a sexy time, but then they stick something up your butt.
Yeah, it's not sexy. It looks sexy because they've got bloody latex. But it's not sexy latex, Michael. It's probably their flesh that's been redistributed somewhere in their body.
Yeah, no, that's not what you want. Unless it is. Look, who are we to judge? We're not going to kink shame here on this podcast, Ben.
Well, we might kink shame a bit if it's bloody Clive Barker. Like, they'll take out your rib bones and they'll use it to splay your flesh out like a weird colour. Like, it's weird.
And then stick it up your butt.
And that's really a careful what you wish for kind of thing, because if you find your ultimate pleasure, ooh-wee, baby, it'll flay your skin. It's real weird.
Did you watch the films? I found the first one a little bit boring, to be honest.
I just didn't find it pleasant at all. It's really weird. Like, it's just a very off-putting series. I've never gotten into it. I've watched a lot of clip compilations for number 2. I watched them halfway through number 1.
Yeah. Isn't number one, does she have a creepy uncle or something? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
is there a
that's what
creepy
it is.
uncle in number one?
Yeah, there's a creepy uncle.
And the
There's a
creepy
whole
uncle
thing.
is the one who brought the box back. Is that right? I'm remembering this from 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, he was on a little expedition somewhere.
Okay.
Probably on a bloody sex holiday.
He was like, I was on a sex holiday to bloody... I'm not going to name a country because it's probably not good. And then he comes back and he goes, look what I've found on my sex holiday. Does anyone want to go with this?
Oh, you're good at puzzles, niece. You're looking very fit. Have a go to my puzzle box.
Have a go on my puzzle box. Watch out, something might go up your butt.
Ew. There are also a bunch of comics. Read a bunch of comics. They don't get any less convoluted, Michael. Ooh-wee.
Yeah?
Is that a confusing time? But the other thing that I decided to do then, Michael, because I had enough of the Hellraiser series, and I said, Jesus Christ, what's bloody good about bloody wishes and Eldritch Horrors? Where can I get a bloody good version of that? And that put me in the direction of a rather famous film, Michael, by Andrei Tarkovsky, which is called Stalker.
Oh.
Yeah, and I watched this film.
Yeah.
And, Michael, it's very bloody interesting.
Tell me about it.
Do you remember 2019's Extinction?
No.
Not Extinction. What's the one with Natalie Portman?
Oh.
What was that?
I can't remember.
Natalie Portman finds Oscar Isaac.
It is something like that. Inception? No.
No.
Extraction? No.
No. They do have a thing for the shuns on Netflix, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find out.
No, you spin your wheels. I'll look it up.
The basic concept of that, Michael, is human beings go to a weird zone, and in that zone, the laws of nature don't apply no more.
Yeah, it's very...
but, Michael...
Yeah, go on.
It turns out that might be a very big bloody rip-off of Stalker, because that's the exact concept that happens there. So there are 3 men in this film, and there's a writer, a professor, and a stalker. Stalker in this context means hunter. It doesn't necessarily mean a bloody creepy guy having a bloody follow you back to your apartment to give you a puzzle box to see if you can stick something up your butt. Yeah. It's not that kind of thing. And they enter a zone. Okay. And the zone will grant your deepest, darkest desires. So they'll grant your wishes, Michael. But once you enter the zone, the problem becomes you don't get your conscious desires. So you can't say, oh, I'd like a big bloody pile of cash. Mm-hmm. I'd like a sexy lady on my arm. I'd like something up my butt. You don't get to do that. What you get is your subconscious desires. So the room will have a rifle around your brain, and it'll be like, oh that's dirty. I'm going to give you that.
I don't want to.
And it gives you that. And it's kind of a very surreal film where you go through this strange kind of bizarre dreamscape. And you kind of watch these men get everything their hearts ever desired, and it's not good, Michael.
Is it not great?
Go well. You shouldn't get what your heart desires. Apparently, not pretty good. Good film, great film. Funnily enough, we've been talking about lots of different things, Michael. A Sandman, an Extinction, a Natalie Portman film, things up your butt. Hard to say that any of these wouldn't have been heavily influenced by Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky.
Oh,
very famous film.
The Natalie Portman film is called Annihilation.
Annihilation. Extinction, Annihilation. We were close.
Close enough.
We were completely wrong, but we were close.
Yeah, close enough.
Well, technically, I was completely wrong.
When was this film Stalker made, Ben? I have never seen it, and I would be interested in seeing it. Is it a horror film?
It's not necessarily... it has horror elements, certainly, Michael, but it's not a straightforward horror film. It's a very interesting film, Michael. It has a very dark and strange history. It nearly killed the director through stress and kind of madness and a loss of budget. It's a real Francis Ford Coppola Hearts of Darkness kind of gig. It was released in 1979. It's a Russian flick. And it's really interesting, Michael.
Is it in Russian?
Yes, you'll have to get an subtitle.
Okay, well, I can manage.
Yes, you can read.
Yeah, I can read.
You can read.
Benjamin.
Yes.
Not all films about wish granting are grim and horrible and terrifying.
Aladdin from 1992.
Exactly, yeah. Sometimes it's just a fun romp, and sometimes, Ben, it's just a light-hearted, racist, sexist comedy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Don't know where we're going now.
So, Benjamin, I watched the film. I watched the Oh, no, I don't know what year it came out. Oh, damn it. Hold on. I watched the 2000 film, Ben, Bedazzled, starring your favourite actor, Brendan Fraser, and the woman who's famous mostly for wearing clothes. What's her name again?
Elizabeth Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley. Yeah. So, Benjamin, in this film, Brendan Fraser plays Ben, and he's kind of down on his luck, kind of schlubby, over-eager guy who's got no friends, and he's not having a great time.
Michael, that's me.
I know, I'm describing you. His name's
me.
not Ben. His name's Elliot. That was part of the joke. And he has a dream, and he's obsessed about this woman he works with, but he's got no social skills, and he's a real dweeby.
Oh yeah, that's me.
And one day he meets a sexy lady who is essentially a model who has been hired to play the devil, and she overacts her way through the entire thing and over-pronunciates in a slightly fake British accent. But Benjamin, this is a classic. I know she is British, but there's no way she talks like that in real life. It would take too long.
Michael, this is largely where my great attraction to refined British accents comes from. Very formative.
This film,
very formative.
Bedazzled with Elizabeth Hurley.
Very formative.
She's a very attractive lady, Benjamin. So,
she is.
I mean, there is certainly you're no Clive Barker for finding Elizabeth Hurley in the film. You weren't watching it thinking, "Oh, it'd be lovely if her skin was flayed off and there was something up my bum."
If she had a few ribs in the wrong places.
Yeah. So she's a sexy devil then.
Yes.
And she is the mischievous type of sexy devil where you make a wish and, for example, Brendan Fraser, Ben, he makes a wish that he has a Big Mac and a Coke. Nice. And she says, granted, and she just drives him to a McDonald's.
Yeah, and it's done.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, there you go. But, Ben, some of the best gags in this are not going to hold up culturally very well.
Is there a lot of referencing?
For example, Ben, the most iconic and infamous scene in this is probably where he wishes that he was rich and powerful and married to Alison.
Yeah.
And he wakes up in the morning and he's got a big prosthetic nose and his skin has been darkened and his hair has been darkened.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
And he speaks Spanish and he's a Colombian drug lord. And
pretty interesting.
It's pretty, I mean, everyone else, all the supporting characters in a kind of Wizard of Oz sense are there as well, and they're all Colombian as well, so they're all kind of, yeah, it's quite racist.
It was of its time, Michael. It was of its time.
It was of its time, and he's clearly Pablo Escobar.
Yes.
Who was a very famous drug man at that time, which, is another troublesome thing about it. It is quite funny, and the scene where he discovers he can speak Spanish is very funny.
Yes, Brendan Fraser used to have great comedic chops, Michael.
Yeah, and he plays a great schlubby guy who gradually gains in confidence as the film goes through. There's another scene where he wishes that he was like refined and elegant and rich and popular, and he meets Alison, and Alison falls in love with him. And then it turns out he's gay, because he didn't specify that he was not gay.
Well, only gay men are stylish and refined.
Exactly, yeah. And, look,
it's very 90s.
It's very 90s. I mean, it's not going to hold up. It's still actually quite a good film. As long as you can put on your racist, sexist, homophobic blinkers, it's totally fine.
Oh, that man moisturizes. He has to be gay.
He's definitely gay. It's a pretty amusing scene where he has seduced Alison and he brings her back to the bedroom and his husband is there.
Yeah. I remember the film very well, Michael.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very amusing. And Ben, in the end of that one, there are other things as well. There's the kind of soulful black man he meets in prison who might be an angel or God.
Magic
possibly.
black man. Yeah. It's a weird trope.
It's a trouble. Look, Ben, it's not going to hold up well, but it is quite funny.
There was that whole period in the 90s where every angel was a wise black man.
Yeah.
Or
Dogma
woman.
was also responsible.
There was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's good. It's racist and sexist and homophobic, but other than that, it's good.
It doesn't hold up, but it's a good romp.
I mean, it's very 2000s. It's very 2000s.
What was it? The year 2000? I think it was the year 2000, wasn't it?
It was the year 2000. Yeah, it's going to be wheeled out in future. As an example, it's going to be something that's on Disney Plus in 40 years when Disney owns everything. And it's going to have a warning in front of it saying, this film depicts cultural and racial norms which were the norm at the time.
Yeah.
Please view it in that light.
Yeah.
It was a time when it was fine to be Colombian by putting a big fake nose on someone and having them speak cod Spanish.
Ooh. Ooh, messy.
Yeah.
Messy.
Well, Elizabeth Hurley has just played that character in her entire career. She recently played that character in Marvel's The Runaways Season 3.
Oh, really? Is she in Marvel's The Runaways season 3?
Yeah, she was a kind of evil wish-granting witch.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She was Morgana Le Fay.
Is The Runaways still going?
No, it's finished. It ended in season 3.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Yeah. Benjamin, speaking of Marvel cinematic TV shows, have you seen that they've released stills from Hellstrom?
Did they release it?
They've released stills. Like it's being made.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I thought you said they released Steels Van Hellstrom, and I thought Steels Van Hellstrom was some kind of bizarre character name.
No. They've released stills from the upcoming TV production, Hellstrom.
I can't believe Hellstrom is getting its own show.
Actually getting made. I'm shocked and appalled.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know who Hellstrom is, he's the son of the devil.
He's the son of the devil.
Mephisto, or Marvel's equivalent of the devil. And he's
son
kind
of Liz Hurley.
I think he's an attempt at kind of a John Constantine style
Yeah.
character.
Supernatural bad boy kind of thing.
He has a trident.
Dealing with the grim and gritty.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. He's got a fork.
Yeah, he's got a fork, yeah.
He's got red hair, so you know he's from the devil.
One of the best things in Bedazzled is when Brendan Fraser says, "You're going to take my soul?" And she says, "Oh no, I've forgotten. What did she say?"
that was an excellent Brendan Fraser impression.
Yeah, no, but I've forgotten what she says. Nope, it's gone. I'm going to cut this out.
You're leaving that in. It's all important. No. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take that opportunity and grant Mick his wish. Let's wrap it up there.
Oh, very good. Thanks, Ben.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any of your favourite wish fulfillment things? You fulfill your wish by letting us know what it is, and we might even mention it on the next podcast if we missed anything.
Very good.
You can get in touch with us in a number of different places, ladies and gentlemen. You can get in touch with us in the comments if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, hi, Nisha. And you can get in touch with us down below. If you're listening to us on Spotify, do share this in your Instagram story. Get your pals to listen on in there. Go on. Do it now. We'll wait.
Do it.
We'll wait.
No, we won't.
Oh, no, sorry.
We have other things to do.
We also are there on Apple Podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please do give us a review. It helps us to get the L name out there. You don't even have to be nice about us. Just give us 5 stars. You can give us a grating review with 5 stars. It's absolutely fine. Bash me more because Mick doesn't really take criticism very well, especially when it comes to the podcast. So just
I'm exceptionally sturdy.
I don't know if that's true when it comes to the podcast. He's a very sensitive boy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any topics that you would like to hear discussed on this podcast, you can get in touch with us twofold. We are on the interwebs at www.seanmcgurk.com.
Too many W's!
Too many W's. W
it means tiny room in Irish.
It does. Or you can get in touch with us at Sean Rebeag on Instagram. SEOMRABEAG. That's it.
Yeah, it still does and always will mean kind of tiny room in Irish.
Kind of a little bit tiny room in Irish. That's it for us this week, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't had enough of your Michael and Benjamin this week, you can tune in this very Wednesday where we'll be talking about Preludes and Nocturnes from the Sandman series on our other podcast, Collecting Issues.
Yeah. And I say preludes, so it's going to be a constant war.
Yeah, baby. Later.
Yeah. I bloody wish this podcast was over, Ben. What do you think?